Hello and welcome back. I was not expecting that we would be meeting again like this so soon, but I tell you what, guys, it's all going down in Monat. I mean, this is the end. It has to be the end. Since my last video talking about Angela Sumner being terminated, a lot of other stuff has happened, and I've been, I guess, compiling it for the past few weeks. I guess I just had an inkling that Angela Sumner was not going to be the end of all this. The Monat lawsuit that Stuart Macmillan put out against Monat was not going to be the end of this. It was all just the beginning. By the way, I did a live stream reading the Stuart Macmillan lawsuit in full, so if you missed it, you should probably go watch it because it's fascinating. It spills a lot of tea. I'm just speechless at how ridiculous this is becoming. It's predictable that Monat is going down, but not in this way, you know? What's happening is that Monat is going through a power trip, a very toxic power trip where they are just terminating everybody left and right, including what prompted me to film this video today, Toni Vanschoyck. Now, Toni Vanschoyck is, or was, I guess, Monat's first distributor. I actually have a video of her from 9 years ago, and I think this video is kind of what put Toni Vanschoyck on everybody's radar in the early days of the anti-MLM stuff, because she started the rumor with this video that Monat was FDA approved. Obviously it's not. So I'm just gonna play a quick clip from here just so you can see what I'm talking about. But people saw the first market partner with Monat running off saying that Monat was FDA approved before the company even had a good blow up, you know, and they took it and they ran with it, and it was just lies. Here's that clip.
And we have got people jumping on left, right, and sideways. Now we're still in pre-launch phase, but it ends September 30th. So I really encourage you to check out this opportunity. There are so many great reasons why you should join a company like Monat, and I'll just give you a few. One, we are the only hair care company of its kind in the industry of direct sales where it's actually proven to work. We are FDA approved, so we can make those health claims. It helps with hair growth, restoration, damaged hair, scalp issues.
Now, after she got done saying all this and spewing all these lies, there was a class action lawsuit because turns out Monat was making people's hair actually fall out. Now, Toni... Excuse me, Toni. Well, first of all, she's like, we can make these health claims, blah, blah, blah. No, you can't. You just can't. But I just wanted to show you that clip because it's just kind of like a history. Toni has been in it since the beginning. And now Monat said, I don't care how long you've been in here, Toni. You're done. We're done with you. And I'm pretty sure it has to do with her relationship with Stuart Macmillan, who was the president of Monat for almost a decade until he left last summer, which allegedly is kind of what's getting all these people thinking about leaving. This, when all these people leave or get terminated or whatever, they always cite that Stuart left and so therefore they didn't want to be in the company anymore, which is wild. But anyway, it's not just Toni. We have updates from Angela Sumner. We have I don't remember what this distributor's name was, but I don't know, she was a bigger one too, but she posted a few weeks ago and I saved all of her stories talking about it, so we're gonna watch through those. Oh, there's an update from Hayley Stell, who is the girl who we went over in the last video. She posted that long photo set of just words that I read to you guys. Yes, she posted an update video, I think yesterday, after Toni announced her departure. So we're gonna watch that. There's so much. So we have a lot to cover today. But before we do, I just want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, Paired. Paired is a relationship care app, and it offers daily couple questions, relationship games, quizzes, and exercises that are meant to improve the happiness of people who are in relationships. Backed by leading experts and research, the Paired app prompts you and your partner with fun, meaningful conversations. And whether you're like me and my husband, who have been married for 12 years, together for 17 years, we got kids and a house and a life together, or, maybe you're in a newer relationship and you're just learning things about each other on a deeper level. The Paired app is for everybody in every relationship, no matter how long or short it's been. It's the ultimate relationship companion. And when I say that the Paired app offers tons of content, I mean it. There are days when my husband and I kind of spend all day going back and forth playing couples games and stuff. And it's cool because like if I do my end of a quiz first, it'll send my husband a notification to be like, hey, Savannah did this quiz, you should do it too. I don't get to see his answers until I do it myself and vice versa. Like if I complete something first, he can't see my answers until he completes it. So it's really cool. And if your partner's being a lazy slacker McSlackerson, you can just kind of give them a little nudge. So that's cool. You don't have to be in the same room together. You can just kind of do them in your own little individual pockets of time in your busy day. Like I always know when my husband's on his lunch break because I'll start getting, you know, paired notifications and stuff back to back and I'm like, oh, he's on his lunch break. And I know that every notification is meaningful since it's backed by experts and their relationship advice. So if you're ready to get started with the Paired app today, you can click my link below to get a 7-day free trial and 25% off of Paired Premium so you can maintain and deepen your connection with your partner. So thank you, Paired, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's watch an MLM crumble. Well, I started filming that integration while I was doing my foundation, and I decided I'm just going to film it after my makeup's done because I look crazy right now. Anyway, sorry about the jump scare. Also, I was out in the pool yesterday, got a tan. This foundation was already too light for me. But now that I'm sun-kissed, it's just like way too light. It's okay, I'm gonna fix it, don't worry about it. So let's jump into it. Okay, the first thing I want to read is gonna be the updates on Angela Sumner. And actually, let me double check here, just to make sure she hasn't actually come back. Nope, nothing, wow. Yeah, so the update is that Angela left social media, like has not been on Instagram for weeks, which is very unlike Angela, almost concerning. And she also deleted, because she had like a story highlight on her Instagram account. She had one that was like Monat and it had like a red flag on it or something. Well, she deleted that. That was her like talking about her transition to olive tree people. So I'm assuming her departure from social media has something to do with that. I'm wondering if Monat threatened her legally. I'm wondering if they, I don't know, put out a lawsuit against her or something. I have no idea. I'm sure, like, come on, it's Angela. She can't be gone for long. She's gonna need to make money again somehow. So I'm like wondering, did she leave olive tree people? What's going on? I'm sure she'll come back and tell us the tea on all of that eventually. Who knows when that will be? Hopefully sooner rather than later. However, when she did decide to depart, she posted some stories, which she does not have highlighted on her Instagram for everyone to see. So this was just like a one and done thing, which is also kind of unlike Angela. So I'm really glad I screenshotted all of it. But anyway, let's read it. Angela says, of course, your pastor. Let's start with the pastor. Says, not to announce when you're leaving social media, but I have something to say before I go. I never understood when my mom told me that people were inherently bad. Really? Really, Angela? Your entire life that we've seen on social media has been demonizing one person or another, so whatever. I genuinely believed that people wanted to be good and that all people were striving to be the best versions of themselves always, that they didn't have to be taught to be good. I feel like I have so much to say about that because she was raised Christian and then she like rebelled against the church and turned into a witch and now she's Christian again. That's basically what happened there. Like, what do you mean you didn't think people needed to be taught to be good? Like, you were raised on a book that claimed to have the moral superiority. Like, the Bible and Christianity like tries to say that like you can't be good unless you love God. So I don't know what she's talking about here. I was very, very, very completely wrong. Yes, you were. You are very naive. Over the years, I've had many jobs. Many of you knew me when I was homeless and started my first business driving around to estate sales, selling clothing out of my trunk, printing labels from inside a little printer in my car, and dropping parcels off at random USPS locations around the USA. Yeah, if you haven't watched my deep dive on Angela Sumner, it's one of my favorite videos I've ever done. If I do say so myself, it's a good video. But we talk about this. I forget the name of the company that she started, but she had like a thrifting business and then she would buy vintage clothing and then sell it online. That was way before she started like teaching. Well, I say teaching, like lifestyle coaching. Yeah, that's the word. It was before she did all that, before she joined Monat. Many of you watched me work on a bison ranch, riding horses in the Wild West and falling in love, traveling to the UK, experiencing child loss, heartbreak, and worse. Again, that's all in my deep dive on Angela Sumner. Definitely go watch it. Many of you knew me as a teacher, a part of my life I won't revisit here because thank God he saved me, and I pray you have let him save you too. About that, I think she's referring to like how she was a witch or whatever, and she had like courses of how to be a witch pretty much, and then it pretty much turned into a cult, and then she had someone die while she was at one of her cult retreats. It was like a whole thing. It was wild. So yeah, if I were her, I wouldn't revisit that part of her life either. But yeah, she made a lot of money doing like witch type of like coaching courses and stuff. It's wild. Many of you were shocked to find that I left my former life to start selling shampoo, quickly rising in the ranks of a network marketing company and changing my life drastically yet again. Probably the most shocking, that I had a baby and became a born-again Christian in the same breath. Yeah, we were kind of all shocked about that too. My life irrevocably changed by the grace of God. Okay, alright, Angela. So much has happened in the last decade plus that I've been on social media, and many of you have walked alongside me. I love so many of you deeply. If you know me, you know how much I've enjoyed sharing my life with you and learning about yours. You know how much I cherish my people. You know how much I love working. It's so true. I love work, but things have changed over the last few months. I'm actually tearing up writing this to you because I don't know if or when I'll be back, so don't ask me. I've realized over the last few weeks how right my mama has always been about everything. Humans will do anything at any cost to collude with the devil and experience false earthly gains. I mean, she has a kid now. It's like, it's not like you can just go back to being homeless. So she was homeless by choice. I know she was like moving. She sold her house. I don't know where she ended up moving to or what she ended up doing. Like, is she in a relationship? Because we all know Angela, like, she loves money. She loves making money. What is she gonna do if she doesn't have social media? What is she gonna go back to thrifting? Like, what are you gonna do? And also, false earthly gains. You mean money? You love money, though. I mean, money's real. It sucks. It sucks that our entire world runs on money, but like, it's not false. It's real. You don't get to take it in the afterlife with you, if that's what she means. They will blatantly lie to keep a paycheck. Yeah, that's what we've been telling you people forever. Like, Angela herself is guilty of that. Every person in a network marketing company and an MLM, they all do that. They all lie to keep a paycheck, especially in Monat. They've been running around being like, we're having our best year ever. We're gonna be $1 billion company soon. Blah, blah, blah. We all called it. We all said it wasn't happening. And then they called us haters and liars. So whatever. I mean, we all obviously knew the truth. But anyway, they will do anything to succeed and even hurt those they love. They will knowingly harm someone to get a leg up. Yep, this is classic MLM, Angela. We've been telling you this for years. They will act one way on their social media, but behind the scenes, their true character shows. They will hide behind alcohol, weed, sugar, coffee, God, quote unquote, and never get to know themselves. What an odd list of things there. Unwilling to admit they hurt everyone in their lives, but most of all themselves. Greed, deceit, ugliness prevail in the majority of humanity. I think that's honestly why Angela was so successful. Because she was like the personification of those things for a long time. And quite frankly, I think just because she's a Christian now doesn't mean that she's not still those things. Anyway, I have seen and experienced so very much over the last few weeks. Betrayal, blatant deception, unfathomable greed. So that's why I wonder, like, is she like referring to olive tree people here? Like, did they fuck her over? It has to just be a Monat thing, right? I don't know. I wouldn't put it past any other MLM though. And when my stepdad died, I realized how much time people spend on their phone. You mean like you, Angela? There were times in her life where she would post to Instagram multiple times a day, like before stories were even a thing. Like, she was making Instagram posts multiple times a day, and then without fail, for years to come after that, up until a few weeks ago, you could go to Angela's page and see that she was updating everybody daily on her Instagram stories. So, I mean, I don't know when her stepdad died. Maybe that was a recent thing, but she has always been perpetuating this, been like, oh no, so people spend so much time on their phones. Angela, like, every single day with you were updating story after story after story. Like, talk about like self-awareness. I don't know where this is all coming from. Creating a false narrative, a life they want to sell to everyone else, but most of it is not true at all. Yeah, we always keep saying this. In fact, I thought everyone was as transparent as I was on social media. Please. I don't think Angela was transparent. I think she was doing exactly what she's protesting here, you know? It was only then I realized most people create a facade they hope others will buy, quite literally. Yeah. You were a witch who could talk to aliens. Like, she said she could talk to the dead and she could see aliens and like, okay, so what were you doing, Angela? There are a lot of things I could say that would make you gasp in disbelief. Oh, please do. But I won't. Aw. Just do me a favor. Until we meet again, put your phone down for 80% of your life. Stop letting your kids see you wasting your life away. Stop ignoring your family. You don't know how long you have with them. No one on this app matters. Like your parents, your kids, no amount of money matters. Trust me. When you do engage on social media, look at people. Really look at them. Are they filled with the light of Christ? Are they real and true? Oh yeah, because the only way to be a good person, again, of course, is to be filled with the light of Christ, obviously. Or are they filled with something else entirely? I'm not gonna say it, okay? Are they ugly from the inside out? Ooh, that's rude. Are they selling a facade? Do you feel incredible when you engage with their content, or do you leave the app feeling less than? Most of you don't even know yourselves, much less your family, because you're on your phone so much. You can't live an extraordinary life if you're living through a phone. Good luck out there, and God bless, especially those who have hurt me. I forgive you. All right, Angela. Even in her last moments on social media, she's still finding a way to just come off as so much holier than thou. Angela knows best. Angela is the all-knowing truth teller. Like, it's just annoying. So that's the update on Angela. Now we can get to, I guess, watching other Okay, let's watch this one girl that I forget what her name is. Now, again, this woman is someone who was also pretty high up in Monat, who also just recently left.
Hello. Good morning. First of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who has sent me a message or a DM or have left a comment. Like, you never know the impact that you have on people, and just reading some of those comments. Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much, because this was not an easy decision. This was not a decision made on a whim. This is over 9 months of reevaluating things and prayer and just really trying to look at it from all angles. And so to have your support and your kindness is just, thank you.
First of all, I always find it really interesting that all of these people keep saying it was a decision, when all of these people have been terminated. Now, this woman in particular, she's gonna get into it, but she's saying like, oh yeah, I was planning on quitting anyway. I think this lady has a little bit more validity to that statement, because she'll get into it, you'll understand. But like, it is still really interesting to me that all of these people, every single person we've been like, look, they're leaving Monat, has been terminated. So it really technically wasn't their decision. It was Monat's decision, and now they're just like, well, I guess this is what we're doing now.
Here's what happened. About 9 months ago, there was a change at the corporate level.
Stuart leaving.
There was a lot of negative energy and gossip and things around it, and I fed into it. I did. I 100% own that. And realistically, should I have let that impact me in such a way? Probably not.
I don't know what she's referring to here when she means like she fed into it. Maybe she's talking about some sort of catty behavior. I'm not sure. I'm sure someone in the comments will be like, oh, that's so-and-so, and here's what happened. She's making it sound like, yeah, I played into some catty stuff and I'm owning it, which, like, good for her, I guess. That's more than what a lot of these Monat girlies will do. Like, Monat is such a, like, sorority, you know? Monat is one of those companies that, I mean, there's obviously, like, infighting and, like, toxic shit in just about every MLM you join, but, like, Monat was, like, big on that. I say was, they're still a company, but, like, not for long. So, I don't know. At least this girlie's admitting it.
Just like if you own a brick and mortar and you decided to not open the doors to your business for 9 months, is going to negatively impact your business. And so this one thing that I fed into happened, and then I just stopped showing up. And I own that. That's my decision. That was my responsibility. And so things shifted during those last 9 months. I went through a mourning and grieving phase where I would be fine, and then the next moment I would be in tears and I would feel like a failure. That I had let my team down, I had let my customers down, I had let my family down. And all of that is not true. Like, but it was hard. It was a hard 9 months navigating those emotions and feelings, while also trying to figure out what was next. Because I knew in my heart that this was going to come, and I just was like, what am I going to do instead? And so
I just find it so odd that everybody who has been like, I'm gonna tell my story about my time with Monat, blah blah blah, they're all citing Stuart leaving. And like, he was president, sure, but like, there was a whole family behind him actually running things. Did things really change that much when Stuart left? Maybe, quite possibly. I mean, he was the outsider who was, I guess, kind of trying to keep everybody in check, when ultimately the people he was fighting against, they were all a family. So, you know, blood is thicker than water or whatever. Like, the Erdonettas, or Ernadettas? Good job, Griff. I think it's the Erdonettas. I always get that mixed up in my head. But that family, like, they're gonna call the shots no matter what. I almost just feel like it's kind of a cult of personality thing, because even while the Erdonettas were there running everything behind the scenes, Stuart Macmillan is the one who's kind of face we all related to Monat. He was the more public-facing leader, I guess, from the corporate side. And when we talk about cults, you know, and Monat being an MLM is just kind of more of a commercial cult, it's kind of like their cult leader stepped down, and then all of them freaked out and didn't know what to do. And it's just, the whole thing is just so wild to me. Like, they're all just following Stuart, and the moment he left, they're just like, oh, God left the company. This business is not about Jesus anymore.
She's not a Christian!
I think you guys might just be overreacting just a little bit.
So I've truly loved like being in that space and helping local businesses and different things like that, but I just wasn't sure what was going to happen here. And it's different in a network marketing space. If you've never been in it, it's kind of hard to understand, because in a typical job, like if you left a job for another job, it's fine. Like, people are happy for you. But when you leave a network marketing company to join another one, people feel betrayed. And I think a lot of times people react out of fear. And I know I personally have done that.
This is really interesting to me because, and I can't remember exactly who said it. I think it might have been Veronica Bay, aka Veronica Schreier or something. She got married and changed her name, but whatever. Someone, when they left Monat, or left whatever MLM they were bouncing between, made the comment that, like, it might have even been Jessie Lee Ward, I don't remember, but someone of significance at one point had said, when you leave a traditional, like the opposite of what this girl basically just said, when you leave a traditional job, everyone gets mad at you, blah, 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 but when you leave an MLM, they throw you a going away party. Like, that's what this person said. I wish I could play the clip. I don't remember where it came from. It's on my channel somewhere. Good luck finding it. But that being said, it's just wild to hear this now coming out, and it's just like, what she's saying is the truth. Like, I feel like there's a lot more, like, feelings of betrayal happening in MLMs when that happens, but, like, so, like, whoever said that at first, like, was just not living in this reality. So what she's saying is true. It's just always interesting when the Huns contradict each other, you know?
I hate that I did that, and I regret that I felt that way, and, you know, but I know, like, it's just different. It's just different, and it's hard to navigate it, and it's just been hard. Friendships that I've built here are a huge reason, like, I drug my feet for so long, and I just really, I didn't want to hurt anyone that I love who's still there. So it was just a hard decision. And then when I finally came to the point of, like, this is what I want to do, I knew my options were either to resign, to sell my business, or to transfer my business.
Okay, question here. Maybe someone in the comments knows. When she says sell her business, like, she's talking about Monat. Like, you can't, it's an MLM, you can't sell your business, right? I know in Monat, and she'll get to this point too, in Monat you can, like, request to transfer your downline to another person, which is what she ends up doing, trying to do anyway. Like, you can transfer your business to another person within the organization. Most of the time in MLMs, if you're an upline and you leave, they just give your business to, like, your upline. Like, you just roll up, like you never even existed. So I'm not really sure. I don't know what she means when she says sell my business, because it's like, I don't think you can do that. So I don't know what she means by that.
It just felt like the right decision to be able to transfer my business to my best friend Casey, who has been with me from the beginning, who's helped me build this team, who's local, who's a hairstylist, and would take care of my team and my customers. So I started that process like many other people had done before me and had success, and I was feeling hopeful and grateful that I had the opportunity to be able to do something like this, to be able to have that income that was still coming in, go to someone who I love and who helped me build it. So about 2 weeks ago, I sent in my request, and unfortunately it was denied because I have an account with another company, and it is against our policies and procedures, especially at my leadership rank, to have that. And they told me I had to cancel that account and remove anything from my social media or I would be terminated. And I was devastated. I cried on and off all day, just like in disbelief. I pushed back and I was like, please look at my social media. I've not broken any rules.
Yeah, so this is interesting. I want to say this girl went to Olive Tree people also. It's what they're all freaking doing. You signed a contract. Like, I'm pretty sure it's pretty well known that, like, especially when you're in a higher leadership position with an MLM, I'm pretty sure it's well known that you can't, like, be active in another MLM. I mean, it depends on what MLMs you're involved with, but most of them have some sort of rule that says you can't do that, whether it's at the bottom, like you get in, you're with us and that's it, or like once you reach a certain rank, then you can't be, like, I don't know what it is. What did you think was going to happen? I mean, you signed the contract. I don't think that this is some kind of secret. They have kind of like non-compete clauses. Maybe it's like vague. Maybe it's like when you read it, like the average person would think like, oh, as long as they're not selling hair care, then I'm okay. Which actually, I'm pretty sure Olive Tree people does have some sort of hair care, so maybe there is a competition there. But like, I think a lot of MLMs are just kind of like, if it's another MLM in general, I don't care what they sell. If it's another MLM, you can't join it. So I think that's on you, sis.
And I received another email that said their decision was final. My request was denied. And I pushed back again, and I was like, I don't understand. Like, other people before me have done this. I'm simply asking for a transfer. I don't understand how this negatively impacts the business. If anything, I'm doing something good. Like, my team, my organization is all going to be with someone who's still in the company, still working. There will be no change. And I'm like, I've not shared on social media. I'm not actively recruiting. But it took them 11 days to respond. And I was met with a letter of termination. It sucks. I won't deny it. It sucks. But rules are rules. And I broke them. Allegedly. So, here we are.
Yeah, it sounds like you did break them. No matter how stupid the rule is, it's like, what do you expect, all right? And then I have to question, like, if she didn't post on social media that she had another account with another MLM, if she didn't post that, if she wasn't like actively recruiting, how did Monat even find out about it? That's kind of scary. What kind of watchful eye do they have on their distributors, you know? To be like, oh, well, we know about this MLM that you're in. So, I mean, I'm wondering if maybe she like posted to her upline or her downline, like her team chats or something, and then someone in the team went and tattled. I wouldn't put it past anyone in Monat to do that, because, you know, it's a cult. We're almost done here.
So that's my story. That's what's happened. And I just wanted to share that because there's a lot of chatter that's happening behind the scenes, and I'm sure someone has probably screen recorded this and sent it to someone else, and it's fine. You know, I know my truth. I gave it here, the honest to God truth. At the end of the day, how I was let go is unfortunate. But can I change it? No. So instead of focusing on the negative, I choose to focus on the positive and the gratitude and the blessings and just so much goodness that happened in these last 9 years. I am not the same person that I was then. It's just so many blessings. And I still have so many incredible friends that are there, and I love them and I support them and I wish the best for them. But this is the end for me.
I think it's really interesting that she had to like point out, yeah, someone somewhere is going to screen record this and send it to other people. And it's like, it just really screams. She knows that there's toxicity behind the scenes. I mean, she admitted that I guess she may or may not have gotten caught up in that kind of behavior. But yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a shock. Yeah. Shocking, wow, people in money are catty and rude, and this is what they do. I don't know why you'd want to be caught up in a company that has this kind of reputation, but anyway. My question is, because Monat, like, refused to transfer her entire downline to whoever this friend is, Casey or whatever she was saying, what happens then? Is Casey her upline? It must not be, because then why would she be even, like, going through the motions to request that her organization be moved to someone else? So it's like, did they deny it because now they don't have to pay out as much commissions to somebody else? Like, is that what it is? Like, they're just trying to, like, save money, aka make money, like, make more money? I don't know. There's a lot of questions there, but that's pretty much the end of that lady's story. Now I think we can move on to Toni Vanschoyck, which, first of all, before this happened, she had been kind of, like, vague posting for a while, you know? She wrote, "As I'm sitting here on the tarmac for my mastermind, I am always reminded of this one thing. Life has shifted. I love y'all. Apparently, when you treat people the same way they treat you, they get offended." Yeah, so, I mean, she was posting stuff like that basically all week up until she posted the video we are about to watch.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's been a minute since I've been on Instagram. We wanted to share something with you because we've had some challenges that we've had over the last couple of, actually, year and a half. And so let me give you a little bit of a timeline. So what had happened is that back at the end of 2022, I was asking some tough questions. We had our leaders coming to us, trying to get answers on certain things, and we just never did. So, you know, I still pursued it because we weren't getting the answers that we needed. So what had happened during this time is that I decided to, you know, ask harder questions. And that was resulting in what has happened over the last 6 months of, for lack of a better word, just they started building back in February a compliance file against us. And they were citing all of these things, but they weren't sending any examples. So I just kept my head down. I hired a litigator 6 weeks ago because it had gotten to the point where it escalated, and Jay and I felt that we had no choice but to hire legal counsel.
First of all, she says a year and a half, which a year and a half ago, Stuart was still the vice president. Now, she has been very close with Stuart, from what I understand. Her and Stuart were the ones who were always hosting the yearly, like, Monat ministry call or whatever they would have at the beginning of the year, where they would all just, like, get together and pray for the success of Monat. Obviously, they didn't pray hard enough. But I wonder, because of her closeness with Stuart, I'm wondering did Stuart start spilling the beans, like, yeah, they haven't been paying me my bonuses, blah, blah, blah. Again, if you haven't watched my live stream reading through the Stuart Macmillan lawsuit against Monat, it's fascinating. He spills so much tea. Okay, sorry, my camera died and I put some lipstick on. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, definitely go watch the live stream I did. I'll have it linked down below, but there's a live stream that I did where I read through Stuart Macmillan's lawsuit against Monat. He basically is saying, long story short, he was promised, you know, when he signed on to his employment with the company as the vice president, he was promised all these bonuses and he was promised all this compensation and stuff that he basically never got. And he says it's because the Urdanettas, if that's how you say their last name, were money laundering, pretty much, to avoid paying him his bonuses, because there was like a profit margin they had to hit in order for Stuart to get those bonuses, and he was just never getting them. I don't know. It's very, very fascinating. So Toni saying all of this makes me wonder, because we know she was close with Stuart, like, he must have been telling her stuff, because if she's saying that she's been having questions for over a year and a half, it's like, what did you know, Toni? What did you know?
You know, we have had no other choice. And I'm going to read this statement that my attorney helped me write, but we had no other choice to do what we're doing right now. As a result of that, you know, with me not complying, and again, you guys, these were false accusations. I asked them to provide me proof, and after the 8th email, they sent me some Instagram lives that I had done, reels that they wanted me to take down, and I said why. They couldn't give me a reason. So what I did is I got John involved, who is our attorney, John Roberts out of Santa Rosa in Florida. Got our attorney involved, and we wrote a formal letter and he wrote it on my behalf because I'm not a lawyer, wrote it on my behalf, and I sent it to Ray asking for my legal counsel to be present with their compliance team so we could figure this out, and we were denied. Okay?
How can you do that, though? I mean, I guess you'd have to, like, straight up go into some kind of, like, mediation or something, right? And then you'd have to, like, subpoena and, like, make them be there. I guess you can't, like, force people to work stuff out with you just because you have a lawyer. I don't know. That is fishy. That's fishy.
Fishy, fishy, fish. Making it stinky.
For Monat to be like, or I guess the Urdanettas at least, to be like, we actually don't want to work things out with our first distributor ever, one of our top selling distributors ever. We would rather just keep gaslighting her and keep telling her that she's doing shit wrong, that she's not actually doing wrong. Yeah, we'd rather do that. It's like, what are you doing? What are you hiding? We know what they were hiding. It was allegedly, according to Stuart, money laundering. So,
What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the official statement because now, as of yesterday, they have terminated us. Okay? You guys, if this had not happened, just because of what has happened over the last few weeks, we were going to resign next week once my legal complaint was officially filed, which it has not been done yet. So it has gone to that, but it hasn't been, the clerk hasn't issued it yet.
it's just interesting because, okay, first of all, her lawsuit, whenever that drops, like, obviously I got you, we'll read it. It's gotta be fascinating, right? But I'm like, what can you sue them for? Because it's not like they were unless they were withholding money from her, they might have been actually, because this is something that I was talking about when I was reading the lawsuit, because they have the founder shares. So basically how it worked in Monat is that they had this whole thing going at one point that was just like, if you join before this date and you make it to this certain rank or whatever, like one of the really higher ranks, if you make it here by this date, you get a founder share. So it's not like a traditional like stock share, because I'm pretty sure Monat's not publicly traded, but it was more like what they would do is they would take 1% of the company's monthly profit, 1% of that, put it in a pot and split it up between everybody who has a founder share. My question is, if the Urdanettas were essentially money laundering, basically what they were doing is, well, this is all according to Stuart. Stuart says, basically, if Monat made a certain amount of profit in any given year, they would owe Stuart like $1 million a year or something like that. They got around doing this because they also owned the manufacturer of Monat products, and they would charge a lot. They would upcharge the manufacturing process of the products, which would eat away from profits that Monat was bringing in. And they would do this to basically avoid paying Stuart money that he was owed. So my question is, if the profits were being, if they were money laundering money out of Monat into a company owned by the Urdanettas, that would be like artificially deflating Monat's actual profits, meaning that the 1% that they were handing over to the market partners who had founder shares, they weren't getting the amount of money they were owed either. It was never like a set amount, like we're going to split up $1 million between everyone every single month or something like that. It wasn't that. It was a percentage-based thing. So there's one count that I'm pretty sure Toni, along with everyone else who had a founder share, could probably start a class action lawsuit against Monat just for that alone. But I'm wondering, like, what else does Toni have on them? There's probably so much more that they've done to Toni that Stuart wasn't involved in. So I can't wait to see the lawsuit that Toni filed against them. I think it'll probably be really eye-opening. I think there's gonna be more lawsuits coming. But again, like, Monat is just out here on a power trip, terminating everybody. It's like they're trying to get ahead of the whole, like, you can't fire me, I quit, which is kind of what happened with Stuart. So yeah, I guess there's probably something that can be sued for, but also none of this is gonna make it to trial. Like, come on. It's all just like civil stuff, So, I mean, unless, not that money laundering isn't civil. I don't know how that process would work. A criminal money laundering case against the Urdanettas. I don't know. I would love to see it happen, though.
The whole thing is that I love this industry. I love this industry. I've been in it for 30 years. I will be in it, and I will continue to do what I love. But I just want you to hear me out. Okay. So this is the statement that John and I wrote.
Real quick, she's basically saying, like, yes, I will join another M&M. Oh my god, MLM. This is interesting because April 29th, Toni posted this on her Facebook. She said, "Okay, y'all, this is what God has prepared me for. I've been working on my course platform for the last 2 years. I love the coaching aspect of entrepreneurism and network marketing, and I'm super excited to even be considered. This platform will be the first and largest digital library in the world. It will reshape learning, school, curriculums, and the way information is exchanged. Buckle up." She includes email screenshots from Todd, who I guess is one of the corporate dudes, maybe the CEO or something, about the potential of her joining as a performance instructor. And then she did update this, oh, here we go, 4 days ago. "I'm truly so excited for this. This is going to open the newest, most exciting chapter yet. I'm honored. Let's go, 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 go," is what she said. I went to their website. It doesn't appear to be an MLM. It looks like a place, like almost like a mastermind platform, I guess specifically for network marketers. "Should you possess the conviction that your team can achieve greater excellence, I implore you to enroll for an interview." They're in like pre-launch right now, so they're just like trying to get some instructors and stuff. Their website's pretty cool, actually. Check this out. Like when you scroll, like things move. It's cool. I don't know. I like it. That is some website design right there. Founders. Okay, so Todd is who she was talking to. A New York Times bestseller, a master of sales, leadership, executive relationship, and motivational coaching. I guess that's what Toni's doing next. But there's also been some speculation that like maybe her and Stuart will go and start their own thing together. Not that I want them to start another MLM, but like that would be, in my opinion, a smart thing of them to do because of how many people are pissed off by Monat right now. I feel like they could easily like draw in a lot of ex-market partners into whatever MLM they decide to start. And we know that Stuart has been behind literal Ponzi schemes and stuff before. He obviously was the vice president of Monat. He knows how to run things. He knows how to scam people really, really well. Toni was the first market partner, in it for 10 years, very high up in the company, so she knows how to run stuff. So I'm like, something like that has to be coming, right? Like her relationship with Stuart can't just end there. So I don't know. I think we'll have that to look forward to in the future. But anyway,
there's been a schism atop the leadership of Monat. I've heard from many of you asking for information about what is happening, whether there is to be a lawsuit, and what comes next in my future. I want to be very clear. I have chosen to be silent recently because it was in my best interest to do so. I'm breaking that silence.
Real quick, is her husband okay? He has not moved. He has not changed his facial expression. I don't know his name. Sir, are you okay?
Because I believe you need to hear things from my perspective. Now, I'm greatly concerned about the direction of the company that you and I and us have helped to build. This is not a new sentiment, also not one that I share alone. And I know most of you have heard about what's going on and even read the complaint that has been filed by the former president, Stuart Macmillan, against the company. While I'm not privy to all of the facts alleged in Stuart's complaint, I am privy enough to be gravely concerned about the allegations contained therein. I'm also gravely concerned about the method and the manner the company continues to use in its attempts to keep a very serious issue quiet. Stuart was brave to come forward, and all of his honesty will almost certainly be met with scorn and decision at the highest levels of Monat. I want to make very clear that I do stand with him. Now, mind you, we are on Team Toni and we are on Team Truth because that's where it lies. The truth always comes to light. So I want to make that very clear. And I also want to make very clear, I had no idea what was going on, and I just want people to know that. So all of the conspiracy theories and the collusion,
So is she saying that Stuart didn't tell her that, like, there's maybe money laundering going on? So that makes me wonder, like, okay, so what was the issue for a year and a half? Like, the past year and a half, what was the issue? If it wasn't the money laundering, and Stuart was still in the company until 9 months ago, you had, like, another 9 months, I guess, basically, to have some other squabble with them. So what was that? Fascinating. I can't wait to see that lawsuit, dude. There's so much more tea to be spilled.
To end that, you may have heard that, yes, I am filing my own lawsuit. And so I've worked too hard to let this company pull the rug out from under my feet and imperil my livelihood and your income streams. We've built this company together, and I'm not willing to be intimidated by the behavior of the corporate and some of the other leaders at the top. I have engaged with John Roberts, and he is busy undertaking and getting all of the facts in order to represent me against what I perceive as a vicious attempt to separate me from a company that I have helped build.
She's kind of right about that, though. Like, if she was the first market partner, she's like the first person doing any kind of recruiting, which obviously the recruitment is what builds the company and builds the MLM. So she's kind of right. Like, it sounds wild to be like, oh, she's just a distributor. Oh, she helped build it. But she kind of did.
The rules are no longer being applied, and we have all agreed and not paying commissions in line with the agreements that we all worked to agree to. I simply cannot stand idly by while the lives of those who have given their time, energy, and effort are separated without cause. Here's where the simplicity is, you guys. I want to hear from you. I'm tremendously disappointed in the manner that we've been treated, and I know that some of you feel the same. I want you to be able to reach out to me so that we can share our disappointments and I can learn more about how you've been mistreated in the same way as I have. I'm open to answering your questions to the best of my abilities, but only with facts, as long as my counsel continues to allow me to do so without harming my case. I invite each of you to reach out, share your story so that I can better understand how you are being treated. We are, for better or worse, in this fight together, and I would like your support as we move towards a fair and just resolution. You guys, it's been a joy.
I find myself feeling bad for her, and it's like I shouldn't, because I've watched through this already. So like the husband's gonna tell us in a minute here, like they've made $15 million with Monat. It's a lot of money, dude. And of course they made that off the backs of market partners who didn't make money. I would guarantee that a vast majority of the people that she made that money off of didn't make a profit at all. Probably ended up in the red. Probably ended up losing a lot of money. I feel bad for her in the way that it's like she did put a lot of time and effort and energy into being Monat's first market partner, and for them to treat her like absolute dirt is really kind of unthinkable. It's like, what, Monat, what are you doing? I don't understand. I will never understand how they think that they can just treat people this way. But on the other side of things, it's like, of course they're treating you this way. It's an MLM, it's a pyramid scheme, it's a cult. You are now, just as Stuart was, you are now a suppressive person, just like now Angela Sumner is, and all these other people, like Hayley, Stell, all these people who have left Monat and have been vocal about their reasons for leaving Monat in the past few months. You're all suppressive people. Like, this is a Scientology thing. When you go against the cult, when you go against the leadership, they label you as a suppressive person, and they will do everything they can to discredit you, to harass you, do all these things. On that level, it's like, does she deserve that? You reap what you sow, I guess. I don't know. You made $15 million. You live in a really big house, and you supported your family and everyone's happy. You probably have a very large retirement savings account somewhere. I'm sure you've invested in things. Like, they're gonna be okay. I feel bad for her because this probably does hurt to be treated this way. However, it's like, this is what happens when you join a network marketing company and you think you're gonna make all this money and be so successful and stuff. It's like, if you don't obey, they're gonna do this. That's what cults do.
To be here for the last 10 years, it's been my honor. Moving forward, I am very excited about what the future holds. This was very, very hard for us to do. It was not easy. It took us a year to get to this decision. And this hasn't been without a lot of tears. It hasn't been without a lot of angst, a lot of sleepless nights, and doing the best of what I could do for our team, because this is really what it's all about. But it's also about my family too. And the last thing is that my reputation, my name, our integrity will not be associated or tarnished by anyone.
Well, you are associated with Monat. You were the first market partner. So yeah, you will forever be associated with Monat. It sucks, but that's what it is. Now, the thing is though, is that like, it really ultimately, if Monat gets found out to be like money laundering and doing all the things they're being accused of doing, it's like her being outspoken about this, I don't think is gonna like be bad for her reputation. But I mean, ultimately you're still going to be associated with Monat no matter what. But associated associating her with the money laundering and stuff, like if people are trying to do that behind the scenes, like obviously I wouldn't go that far to say that she had anything to do with that. She was, again, just a market partner. I'm just having a hard time, like my empathetic human side is having a hard time like clashing with the whole like anti-MLM side, because I'm like, I want to feel bad for this person, but at the same time it's like you spent 10 years scamming people, so it's like a hard mental leap, I guess.
That is what I live for. There is no amount of money or paycheck that will ever be worth our name. So with that being said, I just want to say I truly love you guys. I hope that you found that I am telling this to you as just truly being here for so many years, and we're just very, very grateful. The relationships that we have built are number one, and they will always continue to be number one. So with that being said, you are more than free to and welcome to reach out. Honey, did you have anything to add?
You know, like Toni said, the past couple of years, it's not just the past, literally year, it's the past couple of years, have not been easy on anyone involved with the company. And we're grateful for all the relationships that we've made along the way. We're leaving with no hate. We have nothing but love for all of you. And the one thing I want you to keep in mind is over the next few days, there's gonna be a lot of team meetings and a lot of posts and a lot of things about how to handle the fallout of them getting rid of us. Before you fall into the gossip and the innuendos and everything, consider who it's coming from, considering why it's being done, but most importantly, you know us. Consider us and consider the people that you know and love before you fall into that drama hole about what is about to happen, because over the next couple of weeks, there's gonna be a lot of things that come out. So you all know Toni's heart. You all know my heart, my family's heart, and we never wanted it to come to this. There was always a better solution, but that's not the way the company chose to go. Toni literally built the company. She was the very first market partner, and it's been a great 10 years. We've made $15 million in 10 years. That's not a bad return of investment.
Yeah, but you know what?
And we've made a lot of friends.
Yeah, it's really about the relationships, and that is the best gift that we could have gotten, are the relationships. And also, I mean, he's always been a believer in Christ, but I was able to find my faith. I was able to, eminently grow.
To say that you found your faith in God through a network marketing company is so wild. I mean, they all say this. Maybe it was Toni who even said this I made a video a year and a half ago going over one of their Monat ministry calls. I think she might have actually said that there, but it's just like, it is absolutely wild to me to be like, yes, my faith in Christ comes from my MLM, from my pyramid scheme. Absolutely wild.
As a person in more ways than I could ever imagine. So I'm just so grateful for that. And for us, the relationships are always, they're always going to be number one. And thank you guys for all of you that came on here to support us. I know that there is going to be a lot of fallout, a lot of upset, disgruntled people. But at the end of the day, it's really about doing what's best that we feel for us and for y'all. So,
and one other thing too that I'd like to address.
Yeah.
We haven't gone to another company. We're not.
Not yet.
That's gonna be one of the things that's said. We haven't gone anywhere. We're just here, keeping on trucking. But there was no agenda that we haven't left, and we just tried to ride it out because we owed so many of you our best effort. And that's literally how we've always felt. We've owed you our best effort because your success is our success and vice versa. And
Sir, not vice versa. Excuse me. If you guys are successful, that success does not transfer onto your downline. Like, it just doesn't. But he's right about the opposite, being like, if you guys are successful, it means that we're successful. Yeah, because you get a cut of your downline sales. When you recruit people and they do well, like, that means that you make more money. So yeah, that's true. But the other way makes no sense.
We never wanted to come to this, but y'all are gonna be in our hearts. And we're praying for you too. I know that you all have been praying for us, but we're praying for you too.
All right, you guys, so enjoy your weekend. Happy Mother's Day to you, the mamas out there. Make sure you do something nice for yourself. And you know what? We just love you all. All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right, so as far as the Toni Vanschoyck situation goes, I'll obviously keep you guys updated on whatever fallout happens whenever the lawsuit drops. I'll keep you updated on that. I still have one more thing I want to show you guys. It was a video that Detective Lovey posted. She's back in a major way. Her account has always been like the hub of Monat tea. Well, I think this must have been on Hayley Stell's stories. Hayley Stell, like I've been mentioning throughout this video, is the one who made that long like carousel of words that she wrote about Monat and why she left, aka why she was terminated. She posted a bunch of stuff to her story, which Detective Lovey reposted. So we're going to watch through that.
So I've stayed, particularly quiet considering the things that I could say about what's going on with my previous company. They already didn't pay me my paycheck for a penalty for speaking the truth. But I'm going to be honest, if you're still with them, I would be very concerned.
How is that legal to withhold an earned paycheck? If I get fired from a job, they're still going to pay me for the time in the pay period that I worked. Obviously, we know that MLMs aren't actual jobs, but like they still owe you that money. So it's like maybe they're just like, no one's gonna sue us. Like no one's gonna come back for this money if we don't pay it to them. Like, oh, it's not a big deal. And even if they do, we're rich. We're Monat. We can do whatever we want. I'm just wondering, how are they getting away with this? Because I don't think she's the only person who has said that Monat has terminated them and then not paid them what they're owed, despite, the money that they're owed comes from the backs of their downline. But that's not what we're talking about right now. What we're talking about is that they're just keeping the money. Okay.
I'd be very concerned, and I would be making other plans.
Yeah.
For income, because I'm going to be honest, I don't see the company being around in 18 months or so.
There's no way, right? If you're gonna terminate all of your top leaders, I say all of them, there's obviously still a few. I think Brittany Rose is still in it. What's that name? That girl's name? Christina Smallwood. Pretty sure she's still involved. But actually, I think Detective Lovey actually posted like a clip of Christina Smallwood like talking up an Arbonne product or something recently. So it's like, girl, these people need to definitely make some arrangements, because yeah, there's no way. After these lawsuits hit, like, more people are gonna continue to quit. They're gonna keep bleeding market partners, and eventually they're not going to be able to operate anymore. So yeah, she's right. I wish these people would make other plans, aka like get an actual job instead of going to another MLM, but a lot of these people have pretty much painted themselves into the MLM corner, so what can you expect? But she's right.
And honestly, the leaders that are still there, that are still gaslighting and manipulating people, I'm starting to wonder about your character, your integrity, and your morals.
I mean, we've all been wondering about that too, sis, so we've been calling it out for years. As far as I'm concerned, any leader in an MLM has questionable morals and character and stuff, but at least they're starting to see it now. They're selectively seeing it. They're like, oh yeah, the leaders in Monat, definitely I'm questioning their morals. What needs to happen next is that they need to just like see that it's industry-wide, but hey, this is a step in the right direction.
You can continue to manipulate people and tell them that all of this is fake and it's not really happening. I'm wondering about your mental. It's getting weird.
It's not the leaders who you should be worried about their mental, like, because they're doing it because they know they're being manipulated, and they know that if people leave, then they lose money. So, like, it's clear why they're doing it. They are, I don't want to say mentally sound. They are all there. They know what they're doing. They're not delusional. They know that if they tell the truth, then they're gonna lose money. It's the people they're manipulating that really need to be checked up on mental-wise.
The amount of shit that I've had talked about me. I don't really curse anymore, but I felt like that was appropriate. Since I left, in fact, I had someone tell me, they're like, oh yeah, my uplines were talking so much shit about you when you left, and then they ended up joining Olive Tree People. I'm like, well, that didn't age well. And neither did any of the comments that anybody else has made, because everything that I said in my termination post has been brought to light. So weird how that happens, you know, but people that know the Holy Spirit have discernment and they know what's going on, and you can't hide things from us.
Ah, that's cute. She's like, yeah, people who know Jesus know what's going on. I don't know about that. You believe in a 2,000-year-old fairy tale. You think it's real. So, I mean, do you know what's going on? I don't think so. You literally just never grew out of believing in fairy tales. So, okay.
And you can't manipulate us, and you can't gaslight us to believe anything other than what we got going on here and here.
Was the first one her stomach? I am eating and drinking and breathing the Holy Spirit.
You can continue to talk crap about me. I don't really care, because at this point, I'm not the one that looks like the fool here.
In the way of, you left Monat before it actually sunk into the ocean and fell several thousand leagues under the sea. Like, yeah, okay, you're definitely not the fool there. I would say that she's a fool in other ways, but yeah, sure, okay.
So good luck with that. And what's really interesting is that, you know, the leaders that are still left are going to create these smear campaigns or come up with facts or like whatever post that we've had our best quarter ever. That's a lie.
Okay, thank you for saying that. We've been saying that for a few years now, but at least people who were actually in it can admit that it's a lie. So, all right, cool. I'll take it.
And I know that for a fact. And they're going to come up with all these things to make the people that are still there think that everything is A-okay. And then one day, just like Beauty Counter, everything's going to be gone. And it's not going to be me that's trying to find a job.
She is literally telling the future right now. And it's a pretty obvious future. You know, it's a future that the anti-MLM movement has been talking about for literally years.
But this is just the beginning.
True.
That's the problem. Like, there's Stuart's lawsuit, and there's this new lawsuit with Toni Vanschoyck, and there's more coming. It ain't gonna stop here. So if you want to be a part of that still, bless you. But I would get out as quickly as you can. Okay, one last thing, because I feel like this is important for me to say. The nail on the coffin for me when it came to me knowing that I needed to leave Monat, because I had been feeling that way for a year and a half, 2 years. Like, I could not bring myself to work, and I could not figure out why.
I find this to be such bullshit. It's like a self-preservation thing that they're doing. They're all saying this. So it's like, yeah, it's been a few years, and like, I knew something was weird, I just didn't know what. And it's like, I mean, you shut us out for so long. We've been telling you what was wrong year after year, and all they ever did was call us haters and stuff. And it's like, we've been just trying to show you this, ma'am.
It was when I went to Vegas, even though I didn't want to go. I simply went because I had girls on my team that earned it, and they deserved for a leader to be there and to treat them to the photo shoot and the dinner, whatever. I went out of obligation, okay? But it was when Senior Luis, the chairman of the company, got on stage and referred to an individual as the devil with a Bible. And we all know who he was talking about. We're not idiots.
I don't know who he's talking about. Is he talking about Stuart? The way she's talking about it sounds like it should be Stuart. Because Stuart, at all of their events, used to show up on the Sunday that a lot of them would be leaving and stuff for whatever the event was. He would get up there and preach a sermon. Pastor Stuart Macmillan would show up, and he'd get on the stage, and they would have a little Bible session, whatever.
So then he went on this long, big preaching thing about God and whatever else, which I don't judge people's walks with the Lord. Like, I know they look all different, but it was interesting to me and to notice that as soon as Stuart left, God was all of a sudden part of this conversation. And it's
weird that Stuart would get up there and talk about God, totally believe it. But the moment the Urdanettas get up there and talk about God, suddenly they're like, I don't like this. They're all trying to say, like, I think Angela was saying, like, God got taken out of the business and stuff. But now what she's saying is that, no, they tried to talk about God and none of us were buying it. Sounds confusing.
Had never before. Previously in his conversations, he was talking about how we needed a bigger yacht. and how he needed more money in his wallet, but whatever.
Man, I wish there were recordings of those conversations. Oh my god. Can you imagine being the CEO of a company and just like getting up there and being like, I need a bigger yacht? That's probably what it was. They were probably just trying to hype people up, just being like, let's be successful this year in Monat so that I can afford a bigger yacht. Ha ha ha, it's such a joke. Like, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know the context of what she's talking about, but would be interesting to see.
So that happened. Of course, none of the people in Vegas, didn't hear about that because they weren't there, right? So it was only the people in the room. And the vibe in the room was very, very weird. And Chris had gone on this trip with me, and he was like, did you hear that? Like, what was that about? And then Ray, the CEO, got on stage. And right after his dad got done talking about God and people being the devil with the Bible, he got on stage and said something along the lines of, and put it up on the screen, and it said, who the f*** cares what they think anyways? Quite literally said the word from stage as the CEO. And I was like, I'm done here.
Because he said That's what made you realize you needed to leave? I don't so there's a lot of hypocrisy here, because here she's like talking about walks with the Lord and like talking about how much she loves Jesus. Like her whole platform's about how much she loves Jesus. But she's up on her stories like saying and now she's saying she's mad that Luis Urdaneta got up there and was talking about God, and then his son got up there and said, ma'am, do we not see the hypocrisy here? Like, is the swear word the problem? Because you are literally swearing and talking about God in the same piece of content. So, like, what's the problem then? You seem to be okay with it. It's okay if she does it.
So, in case you're wondering why I finally was like, I need to find something else. I need a backup income. I need to go. That is what happened.
This sounds like she's making it up, dude, right? This sounds like an afterthought.
I'm glad I went to Vegas just to hear that, so I knew that I was what I needed to do.
Just to hear him say f after talking about God, and that's what made you realize that you were done here. That's so weird.
Did that confirmation because I had been resisting what the Holy Spirit had been telling me for so long.
Wait, okay, hold on. I'm getting really caught up on this, but like, so one of the more popular Bible verses that people quote all the time is, I'm not exactly sure what the verse is, but I know it's trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. So that's like, these people fucking live off of that verse. And it's like, if you're trusting in the Lord with all your heart, but meanwhile the Holy Spirit's telling you to leave Monat for years and you don't do it, are you really trusting in the Lord with all your heart then if you're not listening to him? Lean not onto your own understanding. You're sitting here like, no, God, I think you're wrong about this one. You're not being a very good Christian.
And that was it. That was it for me. And it just was such a weird thing. I don't know.
Yeah, this whole thing's pretty weird.
The whole thing about going to Vegas every year was also weird. It was just whatever.
Why? Because it's a city of sin? Like, like so many MLMs go to Vegas for their conventions and stuff every year. Why is that weird? I mean, it must just be because they're like, it's the devil's playground or some shit.
And then it was just, they brought in Eric Worre to basically, has 7 lawsuits against him, like, to save the company.
Wait, Eric Worre has 7 lawsuits against him? I didn't know about that. That's something I gotta look into. That's fascinating.
Lying to everybody, telling them they're doing amazing, they're not. There's just a lot. And I just can't believe the manipulation that is still going on. I'm starting to understand that there's actually a lot of people that have no idea what I'm talking about when I'm talking about lawsuits. Stuart Macmillan, the former president of Monat, the one that always used to get on stage and do speeches and quote Jeremiah 29:11, is suing Monat. If you want to look up the lawsuit, you should. I'm going to put it right here. You just have to search Monat Global. It will come up. It's 50 pages. There's 206 points of accusations, including cutting pay, changing formulas, discrimination against market partners for the way they look. There are things like calling it a cult. There are things about charging extra for manufacturing because they own the manufacturing and they made more money from it. Yeah, read for yourself. It's really interesting. And I've had people come to me, they're like, you're only sharing this because you want people to join you. I'm like, no. I would be sharing this whether I was living in a box broke on the street with no money and no income or not. Okay? It has nothing to do with who I am aligned with now and what I'm doing. Nothing. This is my truth and my story and what happened to me, and I believe that people that are giving their time, money, and mental to know these things. Because there's a lot of people that are completely in the dark and have no idea what's going on because their leaders are completely pulling the wool over their eyes. And so I'm going to be the one to tell you, because I've put up with enough crap of my, I've put up with enough shit, okay? I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm over it. And so I feel like everybody deserves to know this. And I'm sure there'll be more said about me and whatever else, but I don't really give a shit. So enjoy your nice, read tonight.
Oh, here we go. Contrary to popular belief, winners actually know when to quit. They know that doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different outcome is the very definition of insanity. There's a huge difference between being a bandwagoner and jumping on what's trending versus giving a company everything you have and knowing when to pivot because you aren't yielding results that match your effort. I mean, that's 99% of the MLM industry, but okay. Social media has y'all so worried. They put the apostrophe in the wrong place. Anyway, sorry. So worried about what it looks like than you are actually about driving results that lead to real freedom. I feel sad for how lost people are. Wake the fuck up. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure this girl also went to Olive Tree people. So it's like, let's see, you're doing the same thing over again. You're joining a new MLM with the same people, by the way, the same market partners who are leaving Monat. They all went to Olive Tree people, dude. So you're literally doing the same thing with the same people again and expecting a different result. And now you're gonna sit here and be like, hey guys, you're being insane. You're doing the same thing you're criticizing them for doing. But all right, so that was the end of that video. Now, I'm sure the moment I stop recording this video, something new is gonna happen. There's gonna be a lot. I'm sure I'll be making more follow-up videos like this in the near future. So I guess stay tuned. I'll keep you updated because, like, as someone who's been covering Monat for years now, it is very satisfying to watch all of this go down because it's justification to what I've been putting out on the internet for the past few years. So, yep. Anyway, guys, we're going to end it here, but before we do, I just want to say thank you to some people. First of all, thank you, the Paired app, for sponsoring this video. Don't forget, click my link down below, get a 7-day free trial, and 25% off of Paired Premium so you can maintain and deepen your connection with your partner. And now, I want to thank my patrons and my members, guys. The list of names I'm about to read off are my financial supporters. They get access to things like our private Discord server, we have a postcard club, and sometimes even more than that. So if any of that sounds good to you, you can go to patreon.com/Savannah Marie, or you can click the join button beneath this video. Whatever platform works for you works for me. So with that being said, the biggest thank you in the whole wide world goes to Hula Chowdown, Jacqueline Dutton, Kessie Drew, KJ Barnes, Leanne, Caroline Reed, Daniel Urena, Maddie Darley, Ray, Love to Be Evil, AJC, Just Mark, Martine Hubert, Amber Price, Baby Pink Pearl, Alice Wagner, LaSalle's Story, Mother Dragon 82, Fallon Lowry, Hannah, Jessica Billhart, Emion, and Andy Lou, and to the rest of my financial supporters, thank you so much for being here and being you. And even if you're not a financial supporter, thank you for making it to the end of this video. YouTube loves watch time. It helps push my videos out to other people. So I just appreciate you doing that and just being here. So I don't know when the next time is I'll see ya, but I'm sure it will be soon. So until next time, bye.